Time now for a check of the weather, and it's a very good morning to Nate Byrne. Nate, g'day. Yesterday we were talking about that monsoon trough that's really settling in over the north of the nation. What's it look like is happening with potential cyclones out of that?
Well, it looks like we might have at least two systems that could develop, Joe. A very good morning to you. In fact, in Darwin today, we've got the first decent rains on the forecast, maybe 30 millimetres, and it's likely that we'll see
30 mils, that's not decent for Darwin. You need to get up above 100 for decent.
Yeah, but we haven't had the monsoon in yet, so we haven't had the decent rainfalls. Hopefully it's going to start through late today and through the rest of the week as well. We're likely to have over 100 millimetres over the next few days, I should say, 3 or 4 days or so. So finally some good news, but you're right, that does then bring with it a risk of tropical cyclones. We're expecting another pulse of the MJO, the Madden-Julian oscillation, which is just some convective activity, and that's likely to help a couple of lows really get going. So we've got one off the northwest and one in the east. Now, at this stage, that one over towards WA is probably more likely to go. From Thursday, it's got a moderate chance of developing into a tropical cyclone. It'll probably be a little bit later on in the week though. And the one in the east, it depends on whether that low actually sits over land or if it spends more time in either the Gulf of Carpentaria or in the Coral Sea. But we may have another cyclone there as well. So keeping an eye on the north. But finally, some good news. The rains are arriving for those what's been quite a dry period for the north of Australia.
And down in the south of the nation, this morning we've had an emergency declaration for a fire in the southwest of Tassie. What's happening there today?
Yeah, that's developed very quickly through this morning. We've got some fairly windy conditions through Tasmania as the trough goes through, but lots of heat right through the south of the country. The heat wave is continuing and the heat's moving a little bit further east today. We've still got severe fire danger for large parts of Western Australia, very high fire danger around that, and then across into the east as well. Now, in Tasmania, it's severe fire danger for the Midlands. Also, total fire bans right through the eastern part of the state. It is going to cool down a little bit for tomorrow in Tasmania, which is going to be good news for firefighters, but then conditions return on Friday, some very hot, windy weather. So expect this to be a story that we'll be talking about all week as well, Joe, particularly those very dangerous fires. That emergency situation down in Tahoon does look particularly bad.
Okay, so around the states and territories.
All right, let's get up in Queensland, where we do have plenty of wet and stormy weather across the tropical north today. Some onshore winds also causing showers along the east coast. So if you're north of the sunny coast, you'll probably see a little bit of wet weather. There's also a chance of storms through the southern interior. Brisbane, though, staying fine, mostly sunny, top of 32 today. We've got some storms through eastern New South Wales as well, though the focus is shifting a little bit further northwards than what we saw yesterday, mostly around the northern ranges. Also, there's a chance of some dry storms in the west. For Sydney, you're getting to 30 degrees, staying fine, and Canberra is aiming for a top of 37. We've got a dry day across Victoria as well. There is a chance of some isolated showers, perhaps a storm for the eastern ranges. That'll happen this afternoon. Melbourne, it's becoming sunny, 30 degrees for you. And it'll be hot in the east of Tasmania today. Still dry across the state until some wet weather starts developing in the west and the far south. That'll happen tonight. Hobart, it's going to be hot, 30 degrees, but blue skies for you there. In South Australia, another very hot day ahead, particularly in the north of the state. There is a chance of a storm up that way as well, but almost no rainfall on the forecast at all. Adelaide, sunny for you, getting to 37. And in Western Australia, we've got sort of 2 states going on, well, perhaps 3 states going on at the moment. In the southwest, some showers increasing. That'll tend to rain near the coast. There's a frontal system there. Meanwhile, hot and stormy weather continues through the interior and into the southeast. Perth is looking at a possible shower storm, a top of 28. And then further north is the third, because we're back to the tropics. So more rain and storms for northern WA and also for much of the territory. That tends to rain around the top end, and for the Tiwis too. And for Darwin, a storm is likely to go with it. 31 degrees is the top today. Now, tomorrow that heat is going to continue further eastwards again. We're going to see soaring temperatures, especially continuing through South Australia. Adelaide's reaching 39, but it's going to be much hotter if you're in the north of the state. Hobart, though, Joe, some good news there. Significantly cooler and perhaps some wet weather to go with it.
Cheers, Nate.